Hey, how are you? I say we're back on Prelude in D, and just to review what we're doing here, we just got this arpeggio with our right hand. P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I. That's the most important thing. So this last week, what you should have been doing is trying to get the hang of that arpeggio, and then put a chord down, and then take it off, and then put it back on, and playing arpeggios in between so your right hand is getting used to it. If your right hand is used to it, you don't necessarily need to keep doing it that way anymore. You can just sort of try and get the hang of it with one chord at a time, and not necessarily keep it going like that. It's a fine way to do it. So if you're enjoying it that way, then continue to do it in the same way, where you would put a chord down, take it off, and keep doing the arpeggio without it, and then put it back down so your hand doesn't get tired. Okay? What we did last time was we had a D chord, a B7 chord, and an E minor 7 chord. And I have found that for me, when I'm playing it this way, I'm gonna say put that pinky on that up here on that first string, because what's happening is D is being played normally, no big deal. And then when you go to B7, your pinky has to be on the first string anyway. So when you move it up and then go ahead and put your first finger on E minor 7, that just feels good. And it also sets us up for the next line. Okay, so hopefully we decided just do the pinky on that note. If you're on E minor 7 on the end of line 1, then all you're really going to do is do what's an A7 chord. And your first finger actually needs to come down one string or up one string in pitch, but needs to go to the third string is what I'm saying. So it was on E on the fourth string. Now your first finger is going to be on A on the third string. And your middle finger is going to play the C sharp on the second string. Okay? The reason we're doing that is because of what happens later in the measure, and it's going to make sense later. Okay? Even though it doesn't look much like an A chord at all. The other thing that's weird is your thumb has now had to move from the fourth string to the fifth string, but everything else is the same. So this arpeggio we're going to do without this chord for a second. It's the same arpeggio, but instead of being on the fourth string, P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I, I want you to move your thumb to the fifth string and do everything else exactly how it was. Thumb on P on the fifth string, and then everything else is the same. I-M-I-A-I-M-I. So fifth string, third string, second string, third string, first, third, second, third. That was weird. Okay, that happens a couple times in the song, okay? And really it's all based on that A chord. So what I want you to do right now is just play it back and forth, where you start on the thumb, on the fourth string, and go P, the original way, P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I. Then let your thumb jump down to the fifth string and keep going. P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I. Back to the fourth. Can't see. Back to the fifth. Get the hang of that. Make it feel like something you can just naturally do without thinking. Okay. Moving back to what we started with. First line was a D. Next we had a B7. Then our pinky moves up, and we play an E7 with our first finger on the note E. All right. We're gonna take our first finger, bring it down to the note A, and middle finger is gonna be on C sharp. And we're gonna play the arpeggio we just learned with our thumb on the fifth string, and then we're gonna play third string, second string, third string, first string, third, second, third. Okay? So it's P-I-M-I-A-I-M-I. Take your hand off and do it again. Put that chord back down. You might have to look at it a little bit. First and second finger on the second fret of the third and second string, and our pinky's on the third fret G. Take it off. Put it back down. First and second finger on the second fret of the third and second string, and pinky's on G. One more time. The next thing, you just take your pinky off. All right? Keep your first and second finger where they are and play the same arpeggio. That gets you through that first measure of the second line. It's an A7 chord, because of this note. Then you take that finger off, and it's just a regular old A chord. So here it is without me talking. That's it. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is go to a D chord. All right? And you've already done this one, so I'm not really going to push you too much on this one. I just do what you did before, and you do it for the whole measure. So thumb is on the 4th string again. The weird part with this one is being able to keep your thumb on the 5th string for the first measure of that line and move it up to the 4th string, but that's fine. You should be able to hear it. Here's what it sounds like though. Second line. Okay? I'm not trying to do too much with you. I just want you to kind of get the hang of it. I'm playing it kind of fast, so don't worry about it being connected or being played quickly at all. All right? I do want to introduce one more thing for you this week, and that's the next measure. And the reason is because after that, you've learned the whole piece. It's just different order of things. All right? The next chord is an E7. First finger is going to be on G sharp. Middle finger is going to be on the note E on the 4th string, and pinky is going to be on the note D on the 2nd string. Okay, a little goofy. It actually would be a little easier to do it with our 3rd finger as far as like going from a D chord to an E chord, but I think that might hurt. It's uncomfortable for me. I can do it, but it's a weird stretch anyway for me. So I say, let's just go 1st finger on G sharp, 2nd finger on E, and pinky on D. All right. If you do that with our original arpeggio with the thumb on the 4th string, it sounds pretty. Alright, and you just keep going with that same thing all the way through that measure. That's it. Okay? So now you should have an arpeggio for a D chord, an arpeggio for a B7 chord, starts on the 4th string, an arpeggio for an E minor 7, an arpeggio for an A7 chord where the thumb is on the 5th string, an arpeggio for the A chord, pinky's off, and we're on the 5th string again. Skipping ahead, we're going down to measure 5, which is the 3rd line, and this is the E7 chord. And this is our last arpeggio for now. Okay? I just want you to get the hang of the arpeggios and the left-hand chord fingerings, and that's it. Just be able to kind of recall them when you need to, but don't worry about playing it from the beginning to the end at all. It's okay. And in fact, if you can just sort of play through each one by themselves, stop for a second, take a breather, and then put the next one down. I think that's actually better on your hands and just in general for enjoyment right now. All right, have fun with this, and if you have any questions, let me know.